In the heart of a busy city lived a young billionaire named Adrian Cole. He owned hotels, luxury cars, private jets, and companies across the world. To everyone watching from the outside, Adrian had the perfect life. But behind the expensive suits and flashing cameras was a lonely man. Every woman he met seemed fascinated by his money. Some wanted designer bags. Others wanted expensive vacations, luxury apartments, or access to his fame. Adrian began to wonder if anyone would ever love him simply for who he was. One night, after another fake relationship ended, he sat alone in his mansion staring at the city lights. "I have everything," he whispered, "except real love." That night changed everything. The next morning, Adrian made a decision no one would believe. He shaved his beard unevenly, wore old torn clothes, and disguised himself as a homeless beggar. He wanted to see how people treated someone who had nothing. For weeks he wandered through the streets unnoticed. Some people insulted him, some ignored him. Others looked at him with disgust. The experience broke his heart, but it also opened his eyes to how cruel the world could be. One rainy afternoon, Adrian sat outside a small grocery store, cold and hungry. People walked past him without even making eye contact. Then a soft voice spoke. "Sir, have you eaten today?" Adrian looked up and saw a young woman holding an umbrella. Her name was Maya. She wasn't rich. In fact, Maya struggled every month to survive. She worked as a preschool teacher at a small daycare center and lived in a tiny apartment. Her salary barely covered rent and groceries, but her heart was full of kindness. Adrian lied softly. "No, not today." Without hesitation, Maya used the little money she had to buy him warm food and tea. She sat beside him while he ate, even though people stared at her strangely. "Why are you helping me?" Adrian asked. Maya smiled gently. "Because everyone deserves kindness." That answer stayed in Adrian's heart. The next day, Maya returned with a blanket. The day after that, she brought him sandwiches. Soon, she began talking to him every evening after work. She told him about the children she taught and how she dreamed of opening a bigger school one day for poor kids who couldn't afford education. Unlike everyone else, Maya never asked Adrian for anything. She never cared about status. She never judged him. And for the first time in years, Adrian felt seen. Weeks turned into months, and Adrian slowly fell deeply in love with her. One evening, while they sat watching the sunset at the park, Maya looked at him seriously. "You know," she said softly, "you may not have money, but you have a good heart. That matters more." Adrian almost cried. No one had ever loved him without knowing what he owned. Finally, Adrian knew he couldn't keep lying to her forever. The next day, he invited Maya to a fancy hotel. She almost refused because she didn't understand why would a beggar invite him there. When she entered the grand ballroom, her eyes widened. Luxury chandeliers sparkled above them, while elegant guests filled the room. Then Adrian walked down the staircase, dressed in a sharp black suit. Maya froze. Confused whispers filled the room as giant screens displayed headlines. "Billionaire Adrian Cole reveals secret social experiment." Tears filled Maya's eyes. "You lied to me?" she whispered. Adrian stepped closer. "Yes," he admitted painfully, "because I was terrified nobody could ever love me for me." He explained everything, the fake relationships, the loneliness, and the reason he disguised himself as a beggar. Then he looked into her eyes. You treated me with kindness when you thought I had nothing. You loved me when the world ignored me. And that's how I knew your love was real." The room fell silent. Maya stood there for a moment before finally smiling through tears. "You should never test people like that again," she said softly. Adrian nodded. "I know." Then she added, "But I'm glad you found what you were looking for." Months later, Adrian helped Maya build the preschool she always dreamed of. Together they created schools for struggling children across the country. And though Adrian still had billions, the greatest treasure he ever found was a woman who loved him when she thought he had nothing at all. Moral of the story: true love is not built on money, status, or material things. Real love comes from kindness, loyalty, compassion, and seeing the value in a person's heart rather than their possessions. Sometimes the richest people are the loneliest, and the people with the least can have the biggest hearts. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more amazing stories for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.